Now leave her alone though. That could be your cue to get her up. Yes. She's allowed to have responsibility even if she doesn't have to say. And how would you ask her to walk now? How would you ask her to walk? So yeah, I would turn off all the words you don't need. So like she's trotting. Breathe for her to hear you. Because then that's a different kind of white noise. That's a white noise of distance. Kind of like a bat. Good. And then ask her to come back down to the walk. So you're gonna find with your supports. Go ahead and stop her. You're going to find with your supports, like, so you're telling her to go, and then you're bringing this up as support. And that startled her, because she's standing there looking at both your hands, and because her sight's probably bad enough now that she can't tell which line's attached to her and which line's just support. So I would probably avoid the hand support of the extra energy, because she seems to understand what you're asking her to do. So I would suggest giving her only the leading feel, so she knows which way to go. Yeah, and if because she very much was like,
yeah, I can see it. She's looking at both hands.
She had no idea, and she didn't want to be wrong. Like, she totally wants to do what you want her to do. I would try to take away a lot of the words, and I would try a lot of the unnecessary noise words, and I would try to get her to where she understands to be beside you, and maybe even make it a game for yourself. If my hand's not on her, she can't hear me. Okay, so that way you can train yourself to not, because a couple times you were beside her, a couple times she was way behind you. That's way too much gray for a horse that's going to need you to be reliable leader. So that's really, like, we can work on that, of course, but that's really what I would say is, I mean, she has so much trust in you. She's just going to need 100% to know, when she goes to put her foot on the brakes, they're really there. So the leading beside, let's get her to where she understands that, where you're not kind of unfairly nagging at her. So what we're going to do is we're going to demand that she find that spot. It's a sweet spot. And when she gets in that sweet spot, you're going to reach over and rub her. You okay? No, it's okay. Okay, so what you're going to want to do, okay, I'm going to imagine that we're going to want to be, my sweetheart, it's okay. We're going to want to be right here. So this way, if you had to tell her to hoe, you can run your hand here, right? You can want to tell her to turn. Maybe you can find, I'll let you pick your spots, what they mean. But I would say a hoe, where you grab the shoulder, the chest, good girl, good girl. Because obviously she understands that's a backward feel as well. Good girl. Yeah, all right, you want to talk there? I'm sorry, I didn't come and say hi. Yeah. And then also too, you're here enough where if you needed just her head to turn, you can reach here. If she's behind you, what are you going to do to help her? You know. So I would say this is this is where I lead anyway, because like I said, my horses that have sight, if I want them to turn hard left, I just hard left. I just give them a turn signal at their nose, and they know to turn. So with her, you're going to have another touch that means something. And then add always, if you want words to mean something to her, always add words. And you have to just discipline yourself to believe that if I tell her to do this and I want her to go left, I might say left, and use what you're going to want her to understand. When asking her to lead forward with you, you can do it with a feel on the line. You can, instead of having it be a hand forward. I came right in your sight there. You can even, if you want, like have it where you touch her under the cheekbone, something that indicates we're going to walk on. And then in fact, that might even be a good, like I'm explaining this to you, okay? That might even be a good place to do it, because this way if she falls behind, am I tickling you? Am I tickling you? Or is that a good spot? In fact, if she falls behind, that'll actually kind of put pressure in there. So what you could do is use that as your go cue, and then either tap back here or tap up here to say, now move your feet, because this is going to involve her head and sense of direction as well as a forward direction, and this can involve her feet. And then get her to where she understands, oh, I don't like being just stimulated. You'd think she was a thoroughbred as thin-skinned as she is. So, yep, and then do something she's familiar to first, you know what I mean? So you have old techniques that you can now replace with something new. So what she already knows, good. Good. And now get yourself back in the position you actually want to be in. There you go. So it's a stretch forward with your hand. Good. And then, in fact, you could even do something like that. Put your hand on her as a neutral, which means you're doing it right. Now, see how calm she got, how confident she got in what that was? I would take the rope out of her eye, though, so she's not trying to figure out what that is. Good. So as soon as, see how she gave you that foot? That was her guessing and needing reassurance. So what I would have done is I would have taken my hand away to say, you're right, it is involving your feet, okay? Because even though she knows certain words, you're asking her to do it a totally different way. And as soon as she offers you to go forward, and if it takes a long time, as soon as you feel her lean forward, but don't change it. Don't take the hand off and then readjust, because then you released when she didn't do anything. So if she understands the feel in the halter, use your other hand and give her the feel in the halter, and then release when she goes forward. Good. Good. So it's going to be a whole retraining process for both of you. Good. Now release. Now find if you can find a neutral and walk together. Now don't get ahead of her. So again, she does definitely see the lights different. Good. Good. And put your, yep. Good. Now, if you feel her get comfortable in her, she still has a very hesitant stride. If you feel her get comfortable in her stride, you're going to stop together with the abrupt hoe, just going to ease to a stop. So that way she can get a break from it. But I'm going to say you might be better off being a slightly bit further behind where you are. I like almost hip to shoulder for you. Good. So ease her to a now, only because there's going to be stuff that we need her to see and digest for a second. So, in fact, why don't you even change directions and practice it going the other way? release. Yep. So that's important that meant something to her. And your hand, as soon as she takes that step forward, your hand comes off. Take your hand off. Yep. So your hand going onto her neck, your neutral position, and she'll learn that as a neutral position. And in fact, it's good that you're doing it with the back of your hand, so that way when you want to talk to her, you flip your hand over, you use your fingertips. You know, there's going to be so many things that you're going to explore with, but you just kind of want to make sure it all makes sense to you before you start introducing it, so that way you don't change it, 6 months from now because, oh, that might have been easier. Good. And you notice she had one of these, look at how her legs are. Like she wanted to hoe for you. Good girl. So where you're at, where your body is right now, see if you can ask her to walk on. And as soon as she steps off to that cue, now you went actually a whole other before you asked. So you physically changed you. Yep. Good. Good. And in fact, that's perfect because you can ask her to walk that first step. Therefore, she can walk off of your finger pressure. You know what I mean? If your finger's in there and she takes that first step before you, she can step off of it. Good. And the only thing that tends to happen, which I don't think you're doing now, but it tends to happen, is we get closer and closer to them and pinch them into a wall. So you just want to make sure that you don't pinch her into the wall by accident. Now, see if you can put your hand on her chest and tell her ho. Good. Now, see if together you'll back up. So ask her to, by touching her chest, back up together. Good. One more. Good. Ooh. So she doesn't, even though she understands it, unless it was harshly trained, she doesn't understand that confidently. Like that turned into, oh. Right. I mean, as far as the cue, when you first asked her for the original step back, she was fine. Then when you asked her for more, it worried her. So see if that would be something to work on her confidence. Good. And then rubber. Good. So that's what you're going to have to build. You're going to have to build her confidence about herself, and what you're asking her to do with her body is not going to get her in trouble. Good. Rubber. Good. So ask her to take that one other foot back. Rubber. Good. So you'll be able to actually communicate to her, what to do with each foot, stuff like that. It's just going to be a matter of really, really, really being disciplined about gray area. Go ahead and ask her to walk 2 steps, hoe a step, and then back up 2 steps. Yep, let her step off of you. Good? Good? Okay, I would do it as a pause. So have her, because she's a horse that I would feel sorry for if I got mad at her, because she clearly is trying very hard. So I know that would have been an appropriate, why did you walk more than I wanted you to walk? I don't know that I would have handled that as scarily. Ask her to take 2. So you're going to put your hand there. So if is that a good one for you? Do you think that works? Okay. Ask her to take 2 steps forward. Slide your hand down her throat. Ho. Okay. Pause. Take your hand off of her, or you can let your elbow or something. Just keep touching her so she knows that she's still with you, and then put your hand on her chest and maybe don't put your fingers in quite as hard. We want her to understand that it's a suggestion as opposed to a demand, because I don't think there's any time you really need to back her up fast, right? Like, do you think? Okay. I mean, I guess you could scare her into a backup, but like this is more like, hey, we're just going to casually a few steps back. So and have your energy be all about that. And then when you want her to go, bring your energy up. That means we're going to go. When you want her to stop, bring your energy down. When you want her to back up, bring your energy even more down. See if she can't. You should be able to see a totally, I want to say a totally different horse, but you should be able to suddenly should be like, oh, oh, oh. Okay? She'll feel your energy, be able, but for the hoe, this hoe is more like, let's ease to a stop together. Because you want her to read your body language at all times. Okay, she's getting worried. That's okay. Good, stop. Good. 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 So she's probably the first horse I've never wanted to just take from somebody. And it's because of the bond with, I want to show you, but in the same sense I don't want to just I don't want to upset her, that's all. Hi. Hi, sweetheart. Look, I'm going to take you for a second. Are you okay with that? I just want to talk to you quick. It's okay if you close your eyes. It's okay. I want to show you something. You want to learn something? Huh? Good girl. Good girl. Okay. So I'm going to come up. I'm just going to kind of like not leave her, but I'm going to come up here. I'm going to head the lane the other way because I'm already on this side of her. Wait. Okay. No, no, no. You got it. No, no, yep. Shh. Yep. No. No, no, no. Good. No, no, no. Yep. Good. Good. Okay. Yeah. Good girl. Good girl. I just wanted you to know something. I know you're thinking a lot, aren't you? You just did this. You're okay. Yep. Good girl. Just her energy. Do you like this knot in here? Oh, okay. Um, her energy is a lot lower than meaning like her energy is a lot more spun out than what she's telling you, like on the surface. Um, yeah, yeah. So you're being extremely particular, but extremely quiet is going to be so helpful for her. Yeah, at one point I had her like that where she was just like, I was offering her, like when I wanted her to come towards me, I was blowing out so she could follow me. So she understood that I was telling her to come towards me. The yield she understands away. So there's no sense in like, like adding like you can add a verbal cue, if you want her to learn it from a distance. But I added things that I used things that she should sort of understand to help her understand something new. So like the hoe, although I said hoe, I also wiggled to help support that. Then when I backed up, because she also was understanding the response to the wiggle, I asked her by also offering this so that she goes, oh, because now like they make sense. I would try really hard not to make her wrong for anything. Um, yeah, because she really, 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 really wants to do what you want her to do. Um, she needs your energy is really good until you think you should be loud, and then you get loud. Um, she needs her. If you can, like, say you're always at a 2, I would be at like a 0.5 in everything that you ask her for. So that way, when you do have to get loud, it is only a 2, because she's going to respond. Very, very honest and very. She's looking for the hand to be held now. You know, she when I asked her to come towards me, she was, I don't say I hear horses, but she was thanking me for making that more clear to her. Um, Instead of where if you're beside her and you want her to come with you, you might be more likely to just say, "Come on," you know. She needs to be invited now. Um, and it's like it's sucking, you know, like when you take a cup underwater and you pull it until the water finally goes in. She needs that sense of sucking, and that'll get any of the close to you stuff done, and you know, any of the come to you stuff done, including the come to you. I use the word here when I want them to come to me, and you can, you know, you can turn that into white noise if she's like way over there and you want her to come to you, you know, just so she knows where to come. Um, but you're gonna have a lot. I mean, to me, that would be such a fun, like, challenge to work with her. Like I would I would have a lot of fun with a horse like her, to just see what you can accomplish through just really, really having it always be black and white. That's going to be the most important part. And know what she knows, and what she, and then as you're introducing new things, support her with what she knows so that she can, um, I guess, make the transition. You know, it's kind of like, you know, like the English Spanish dictionary. You know, we have the English word, we know what it means. We have the Spanish word, so she needs to understand what its meaning. I I think you're going to do great with her. Her trust is there. You have a 0 to 60 energy, so you need to find, like, yeah, but yeah, they mirror us, but try to keep it in, you know, lower neighborhoods. You know, keep it down to 30. Because she doesn't even get offended. It hurts her feelings. It's different. Like that dude, that dude cowboy. Now we offended him. Yeah, he turned into a shark at one point. No, it definitely hurts her feelings because she's all heart, all heart. He's going to be all heart too. We just got to explain to him that we're trying to explain something to him. She believes there's a definition and she thinks she's getting the right answer, and then when she doesn't get the right answer, it really hurts her feelings. Yeah. So think of her as this sensitive child in a classroom. But I would, you know, if you want to keep cookies in your regimen, I would make them something at the end. I would make them something where you get, like, say you set up a puzzle for yourselves, that's all about your guidance, whether it's voice or hand, and guide her to a hidden cookie.